Audio made possible by www.jackettome.com. Warning. The following has suggested content that is not suitable for some listeners. Audio Fanfiction Productions presents Wide Awake. Fanfiction written by Angskata003. Fanfiction inspired by the Twilight Saga written by Stephanie Meyer. Chapter 43. Chui Granola Grievances.
Edward's point of view. I narrowed my eyes at the question on the paper as my brows furrowed in concentration, and my elbows sank into the mattress. In what year did Japan launch the Second French Indochina campaign, and oust the Vichy French, and formally installed Emperor Boi in the short-lived Empire of Vietnam? My head tilted as I read the question for the 7th time, and I was fairly positive that was a run-on sentence, right? Fucking bullshit. I huffed and scratched my brow while relaxing further into my bed on my stomach. It was late. Or, really fucking early. Not that it mattered. I had this goddamn practice test mocking me with grammatical errors, and I quickly scribbled down my best guess, before moving on to the next bastardization of the English language. A tongue clucked over my shoulder from beside the bed, and I ground my teeth together.
That's not right,
she mused softly while staring at my answer on the once crisp paper. It had become a victim of my aggression. I quirked an eyebrow and turned my head up to get a better view of her face. Care to enlighten me, miss? I know fucking everything. I teased. Well, I mostly teased. Secretly, she had been oddly annoying me for the past 2 hours. She pursed her full lips thoughtfully at the question for a few moments, before emitting a defeated sigh.
I can't remember the date. I just don't think that's right,
she concluded with a delicate shrug, and stepped away from my bed to walk to the sofa. I sighed sharply, and was preparing to launch a snide remark on how very fucking unhelpful she was being when my eyes unwillingly traveled to her bare legs. Her gauzy red-tiered skirt swayed around her knees, and I was mesmerized by her fluid movements as she stepped over my messy clutter on the floor. I shook my head and tried to focus on the next question while speaking. How would you say you've gotten here again? I mumbled distractedly while hunting down another passage in the textbook. I tried to ignore the urge to spring up and clear all the dirty clothes off of the floor. I mean, that can't be an attractive quality, right? Ella's soft giggle resounded in my ears.
I didn't,
she replied simply, and her evasion to my questions made it impossible to bat down all the frustration, but I let it go. How could I get pissed off at my girl for coming to keep me company? I couldn't. I kept answering the assignment questions, and I was irritated with the certainty that I was going to fail this test. I never failed a test. And this shit was really fucking with my resolve to stay awake. Ella sighed loudly from the sofa, gaining my attention as I shifted my focus to her.
I'm bored,
she muttered while twirling a shiny curl of her brown hair around her finger. She was wearing that sexy red outfit from Valentine's Day, and I was positive she was just doing it to distract me. And I'd be fucked sideways if I said it wasn't working. I tried to peel my eyes away from her cleavage, and ignored the way the necklace I had given her drew my attention to her tits. I'm pretty sure that wasn't why I bought it. I was disgusted with myself for ogling them, and still frustrated with both her boredom and my own. We could be doing better things. Well, shit, Bella, I began, as the annoyance once again crept into my dome. We could always take a fucking nap, or something. I snapped, and immediately felt like shit when her face fell, and she flinched. She dropped her lock of hair. It skimmed her cleavage as it fell to her stomach.
We already talked about this, Edward,
she whispered remorsefully as her eyes shifted to her lap. I gazed at her glum expression for a moment, and my guilt swelled for snapping at her so harshly for something she couldn't even control. I'm sorry, I apologized softly at her frown, and took a deep breath to calm my frustration. I mean, it was fairly fucked up and admittedly rare for me to ever be annoyed with my girl. I felt like such a prick. It was enough that she came, and I reminded myself of this as I forced a crooked smile once she glanced up at me from beneath her eyelashes. She tentatively smiled back, one corner of her red lips curling up sweetly because that crooked smile was hers, and no one else's. I didn't own her. She fucking owned me. I was pretty sure she knew it, too. It was the only reason I was still here in this house. I figured Emmett might have been waiting up for me in the living room, and any other night, I would have already been down there. It had become a sort of ritual for us to meet up near midnight, and spend a few hours on whatever fucked up video game Emmett had chosen. It killed the boredom, and though we rarely talked about anything unrelated to what we were doing at the exact moment, I let him amuse me with his over-the-top reactions to getting his ass kicked. But for the first night in over a month, I wouldn't be leaving my room to meet him. There was no way I could leave my girl. She looked so fucking beautiful and sexy as she smiled and relaxed into the black leather. I needed to touch her everywhere. But from the first second I noticed her standing in the middle of my room, all fucking red and perfect against the trashy backdrop of my life. She wouldn't let me, she said, "Cookie," before I could even feel her skin or hair, and though I was confused and hurt, she reassured me she was just having an off night. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. Every night for us was an off night, unless we were together. And now that we finally were, I figured it could be like old times. Shamefully, the first notion that crossed my mind when my eyes landed on her was sleep. Ella was sleep, especially when she was standing in my room at 11 at night. For the first time ever, I felt like I wanted to use her. Not only was she sleep, but she was food and lust and distraction and comfort and affection. I was such an asshole for not immediately seeing her for who she was, and not what she could offer me. This guilt, coupled with the incorruptible sanctity of the safe word, helped fuel my resolve to keep my distance at her request, because even if I couldn't touch her or sleep, I was lucky just to have her here. I watched as she suddenly brought her hands up to her hair with a grimace and removed the two barrettes that held her bangs back. My lips twitched in amusement as she glanced at them in her hand petulantly. They always hurt her head, and I much preferred her hair free anyways. With a contented sigh, she used her fingers to comb her hair back off of her forehead, sweeping it back, and destroying the perfect parted line of her hair, as it fell in messy waves of curls around her face. It was a bizarrely sexy gesture, and I was so fascinated that I nearly failed to notice her angrily tossing the offending hair accessories onto my floor with an irritable glare in the vicinity in which they landed.
"You've really let the room go,"
she sighed sadly at the floor, while relaxing and appearing far more comfortable sans scalp pain. I couldn't hide my scowl as I shifted my gaze to my paper. I wasn't expecting company. I hedged awkwardly. It was like she just fucking knew how much it was bothering me.
"I could straighten up for you if you'd like,"
she offered in a timid voice. "No, thank you," I declined sharply, and perhaps a little too hastily as I avoided her gaze. It was one thing to let her make my food and hum me to sleep, but I'd be damned if I was going to sacrifice the shred of dignity that would surely go up in flames if I watched her collect my dirty boxers off the floor. Every motherfucker has to draw a line somewhere. She sighed, and we were once again silent as I tried to just fucking focus. Test questions. Focus. Indochina. Focus. Empire of Vietnam. Focus. Ella's feet inches away from my dirty laundry. Shit. Concentrate. Ho Chi Minh. Concentrate. Viet Minh. Concentrate. Ella's tits and that necklace. Fuck. We had spent all month slipping behind the school unnoticed for lunch, well, pretty much just to kiss and be private for a change. Though we usually just talked and ate when we did kiss, I was always gentle and tender. Luckily, the animalistic urge to possess her never returned, but we never went past kissing, and even though I'd ached to touch her everywhere, I never did. She seemed to enjoy the affection, even though we both emerged unkempt and more sexually frustrated than we had ever been while sleeping in the same bed together. This whole sexual frustration bullshit was damaging my focus, and I was disappointed in the amphetamines. I mean, that was what they were for, and shit, I had to pass this test. So, I began, eager to ease her boredom, and engage her in conversation at the very least. "Since you are clearly so astute in all things Indo-Chinese, I think you should be the one mind-fucked on this practice test." I balanced on one elbow, lifting the paper in my free hand, while waving it lightly, and grinning. She snorted, and folded her legs up beneath her with a shake of her head. I bowed it all dramatically, but was secretly very fascinated with the way her eyes looked. She looked so fucking rested. I could barely see the dark circles. I began to ponder, questioning if she had slept, before she finally regarded my mock pout.
Tough titty, Cullen.
She sniffed and propped her elbow on the back of the couch with a smirk.
That's what you get for being all advanced placement.
She winked seductively, not helping the focus. I smiled tightly over the grimace that fought to emerge over the sound of her calling me Cullen. What the fuck was that? I wasn't sure why, but it bothered me. Instead of being an asshole about it, I rolled my eyes in amusement, and returned the paper to the textbook. I'll remember that when you're all fucking remedial tomorrow, intrigue. I smirked in return, to which she appraisingly nodded a delicate touche. I smiled, and resumed my perusal of the textbook before peeking up at her from beneath my eyelashes, like she commonly did to me, because payback is a bitch. And by the way, I started in low and suggestive voice that I knew she probably found sexy, or some shit. You can show me all the tough titty you want. I winked back at her playfully. With that, her eyes abruptly darkened, and she sat up straight on the sofa. Her long eyelashes grazed her brow as she dipped her head and gazed back at me, and those pouty red lips were screwed up into a wicked grin that immediately made my hormones stir. She just looked so fucking different. Almost cocky. My eyes widened, and I swallowed audibly while her hands went to the hem of her blouse and began tugging it up. I'm pretty fucking certain I was stunned speechless, and my jaw was likely in danger of unhinging. I didn't know what to do as I watched her lift it up and bring it over her head. I mean, fuck, Bella. I wasn't being literal. Haven't you ever heard of teasing? For some reason, I didn't stop her. She discarded of the red fabric and was then left sitting in that red lacy bra that had made more repeat appearances in my fantasies, and I'd ever willingly admit. Slowly, she reached behind her back, arcing her chest and staring pointedly into my eyes with a smirk as she unclasped her bra and slid it off her shoulders. I wanted to open my mouth and tell her how fucking unnecessary this whole striptease thing was, but I just couldn't form the words, so I watched, transfixed, as the red lacy bra fell down her arms, exposing her breasts and landing on her lap. I could feel my eyes darken as they raked over her bare chest, and I shifted involuntarily against the bed, my erection pressing painfully into the mattress below me. Not that I hadn't become accustomed to painful erections over the last 4 months. Fucking cocktease. She knew I couldn't touch her, couldn't kiss her, couldn't even fucking smell her. And yet here she was undressing and smiling deviously as she relaxed back into the couch to resume twirling her shiny curl around her finger topless. I tore my eyes away from the sight of her perky breasts and that goddamn necklace and curly hair against pale skin to calm the hormones and try to finish my test. Touche, I conceded in a shamefully husky voice as I fought to focus on Indochina. She was going to pay for that shit tomorrow at lunch, when I could hopefully touch her again. Hopefully. I couldn't recall exactly when Bella left that morning. I went into the bathroom to take a piss because the caffeine mixed with erection made my bladder beg for release. When I emerged, she was just gone, and the sun was rising outside my French doors. I huffed and raked my fingers through my hair as I stared at the cluttered floor, debating whether or not to clean it. She could come again tonight and I'd feel like a fucking pig again. I resolved to wait until after I returned home from school, because those hours in between were always the worst for me and I'd be thankful for the distraction. I got ready much like I always did and was out of the house before Carlisle could even glance at me sideways. I stopped talking to him again after my birthday. Call me fucking juvenile, but I was fed up with his bullshit. I was tired of playing games and refused to do anything beyond the absolutely necessary song and dance. I went to school, got the grades, ate the food, attended to hygiene, changed my clothes, and dangled like a fucking puppet when I repeated the charade all over again the next day. I picked up Jez and allowed him to talk animatedly about some new movie, while I nodded and pretended to pay attention. My eyelids drooped and I fought to keep myself coherent while driving. I used the memory of my girl sitting on the couch topless all night to keep me alert. Yep, pretty effective shit. When we entered the parking lot, I was anxious, nervous that she was still feeling off and that she wouldn't want me to touch her. Luckily, she stepped out of the